Franchise Sports Media!
Episode of the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media. I'm your host, Kalani. Thank you guys for tuning in. Man, oh man, 2025 is off and running, and we are not stopping whatsoever. First off, congratulations to the Eagles. Caw-caw, caw-caw. Fly, Eagles, fly, baby. The Chiefs, trash. Meanwhile, speaking of great performances and someone not showing up for the big event, we had UFC 312 go down in Australia, down under, mate, down there in the Bobby. Dricus Du Plessis successfully defends his middleweight title against former champion, the man he took the title from, Sean Strickland. Now, this right here was a unanimous decision, very easy outing. Well, I wouldn't say easy, but as far as on the scorecard, Dricus Du Plessis was able to go out there and dominate Sean Strickland for a number of reasons. One, Dricus, because of his very awkward style, Dana White even said before that his fighting style is like a white guy trying to dance. It's very awkward, very, okay, what are you doing there, buddy? But it works and it's effective. But also, you throw in the fact Dricus, incredibly strong, very well-rounded as far as mixing things up, kicks, punches, diving in with his strikes. He's one of those you would think of maybe a Robert Whittaker type, standing on the outside, lunging at times with very good power, very good accuracy, picking his shots. And then he was also able to land some really good body kicks, and he was throwing, not the switch kick, but he was throwing kick to the body, faking a kick to the body, coming over the top, going to the head. And that got Sean Strickland thinking about that a couple of times. So when DDP would throw a body kick, Strickland's thinking it's coming up top, leans the head back, body wide open, turn the sides up. On the other hand, yes, Sean Strickland, go out there, talk a big game, talk to everything else, talk about this is going to be war, we're going to go at it, and did not come to the party. Did not bring anything. He didn't bring chips. He didn't bring sodas. He didn't bring napkins. Nothing. And that goes to show that even at the highest of highest levels, just like we saw in the Super Bowl, there are times where that stage is big, the lights are bright, the moment is incredibly overwhelming, and your opponent who's on point, ready to battle, ready to go to war, and you're not. You're like a deer in the headlights and you just freeze. We know Sean Strickland is a tough outing. We know that. Even DDP admits, hey, that's a tough son of a gun. I was better than him tonight, but that's a tough SOB right there. Strickland's coaches were a bit frustrated with him. We'll get to that in a little bit, but very impressive for DDP to say, okay, let me go out here again against someone who I went in a 5-round war with the first time. People thought he could have went either way. Some felt Strickland won. Let me go out here and leave no doubt. He was leading with the right hand, found that target over and over again, even broke the nose of Sean Strickland. Now, this is where, in the words of Mike Goldberg, so you want to be a fighter. You had Sean Strickland get his nose broken in one of the most horrific ways, just he readjusts it in the fight. Now, Dricus did try to rush him once he saw he had him hurt. He did try to rush. Kudos to Sean Strickland, defended it, kept him off, kept moving around. But once there's a little bit of break and DDP started, hey, let me gather myself, let me catch my breath, let me not drain everything out right now. You just seen Sean constantly messing with his nose, He goes back to the corner, the camera's following me, hear him say, yeah, broke my nose, but I readjusted it. Holy hell, dude. It's like something you see in a movie. Cut me, Mick. Like in Rocky. Cut me, Mick. Cut me. Ugh. But shout out to him on Strickland for battling through that and showing the true warrior spirit that he had, despite not being able to find his footing and put up a worthy showing. But a lot of that also goes to Dricus. Dricus kept him guessing with what he was going to do. Feints, lunging in, body kicks, fake body going up top. At first, it looked like Dricus was going to consider taking Sean up on his offer of, hey, let's just stand and bang, no takedowns. Dricus with the great response of, hey, there's no ties between lions and men. And the first couple of rounds, he did just stand up with him purely, and then he went for the takedown. Got Sean Strickland thinking, oh, wait, this guy's now going to start taking me down? So he's throwing kicks. I'm checking the leg kicks, but he's throwing kicks at me. Punches, find a home with that right hand. And now I got to worry about the takedowns as well. And he's incredibly strong and doesn't gas out. Okay, this is just going to be tough. Strickland's whole persona, his fighting style is to come forward. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Dricus at times was forcing him to back up. And it goes to what John Jones used to say when he had his run at light heavyweight, where if you notice in fights against his early opponents, I'm gonna fight how you fight. Oh, you're supposed to be a good wrestler. I'm gonna wrestle you. Oh, you're supposed to be a good striker, the Gloverless Teixeira. I'm gonna strike with you. I'm gonna fight your game plan, because most fighters aren't thinking you're gonna meet me at where I'm strongest at. You're not thinking that. So you're preparing for the rest, and to counter it, now he's gonna surprise you. Oh, wait a minute. I thought this dude was gonna try to wrestle and grapple me and move around. He's the one applying pressure. He's the one coming forward. Got me on my back, on my heels, backing up and moving away. So shout out to DDP and his coaching staff for coming up with that game plan and enforcing it and inflicting his will more so than what Sean Strickland was able to do. What's next for DDP after this win, though? You look at the middleweight division, okay, there's all these guys have really lost to Israel Adesanya. We'll get to him a little bit later. There is one guy, and Dana White did say he is next in line, the big bad wolf. Khamzat Chimaev is in the waiting. 8-0 in the UFC, Khamzat Chimaev is. Dricus Du Plessis, 9-0 in the UFC. Not undefeated in his career, but 9-0. These guys have shown every time they stepped in the octagon, they are perfect, and their opponents are not worthy. It will be a fantastic showing, these two clashing. But before Khamzat gets his shot, post-fight interview, Dricus Du Plessis said, is there no one else? Is there no one else? Looking dead in the eyes and direction, walking forward to even one, Alex Pereira Chama, who was in Sean Strickland's corner. He's looking at him like, hey, is there no one else? Is there no one else? Oliveira's like, bro, you want to get down right now? I'll take the gloves. I'll take these gloves off right now for the corner. Let's do it. Later in the back, Pereira says, hey, let's do it at light heavyweight. Dricus says, hey, let's do it. Dricus Du Plessis now can go after champ status. The big fight at 205, Khamzat is already there. So depending on the timing and how things go next month when Pereira takes on Magatev Ankalaev, if Pereira's successful in that one, him and DDP seem to be the best sense, especially if you look at International Fight Week coming up. That'll be a tremendous fight to put on the card. Also, if you threw in Charles Oliveira and Max Holloway for the BMF title, that would be fantastic and awesome for International Fight Week. What a way to go there. But we'll see. If not, whether they want to go another direction, Pereira wants to go up to heavyweight, whatever the case may be, but he does want to fight DDP. Who goes first? Is it Pereira? Is it DDP moving up to 205 for champ, or does he stay there and defend the title against Khamzat Chimaev? We'll see what comes first. In the co-main event, we had Wang Zhilei taking on Tatiana Suarez, and I don't even know if taking on is the right word. Wang Zhilei went out and put on a phenomenal showing of utter dominance against Tatiana Suarez. Now, granted, Suarez, one of the fighters who very much well-hyped, well-deserving. She's considered the female Khabib Nurmagomedov of the division because of her wrestling background. Very strong, but unfortunately, her body's just giving up on her at times. She did have her battle with cancer. Shout out to her for getting through that. But whether it's a shoulder injury, knee injuries, I mean, oh my God, it's just to the point where you're like, okay, should we just give it to her despite her being off for 18 months? We're going to throw her in the deep end against the champ, one of the greatest female fighters we've ever had on the roster. Let's see what happens. A lot of people thought Suarez could pull off the upset because of her wrestling and her dominance in that with ground control. She was the favorite going in, and Wang Zhilei said, she's the favorite. 18-month layoff. I'm the champ, and I've been who's who in this division? Oh, hold my beer. She went out there and put on a butt whooping. Wang Zhilei goes out, almost gets a knockout, almost finishes her. She's taking her down at times. And then when they did go to the mat, Wang Zhilei was able to show more dominance with her strength, stamina, her explosiveness to go out there, get in more dominant positions, show that, hey, you may be a traditional wrestler, but in here, you got to be able to put it all together. And that's what I'm going to do when I'm up here on top. So shout out to the female champ there. What's next? Possibly a showdown with Valentina Shevchenko to find out who is the baddest woman on the planet right now, since Amanda Nunes is retired. Does she come back? Possibly. We'll see. But both females have shown that they are, for the most part, head and shoulders above majority of the competition in the divisions. Maybe it's time to have a super fight between those two to find out who is absolutely the baddest woman in the UFC right now. That'll be fun. That'll be fun if those two can go at it, the striking, the grappling, the strength, and just the utter fact that both have shown they can go 5 rounds and not even break a sweat. It'll be a lot of fun if we see Shevchenko and Zhang Weili meet up at some point. This coming weekend, we do have the UFC going on in Las Vegas. We have it fight night. We got Jared Cannonier at 17-8 taking on Gregory Rodriguez from Brazil, 16-5. This is going to be an interesting fight. Cannonier, who's trying to show that, hey, I'm still one of the top names here in the middleweight division. Do not think I'm done yet just because I lost my title fight against Izzy Adesanya. I'm still one of the more dominant guys here. Very powerful striker, incredibly strong, a tremendous story. I mean, at one point, the guy was looking like me, heavyweight, light heavyweight. Now he's found his thing at middleweight. I'm going to get there. Yeah. Rodriguez has shown when he's fought, I'll be a huckleberry. Oh, you want to scrap? Let's go, baby. We can get down. Or if you want to grapple, let's go ahead and get after it. So that's going to be a fun encounter between those two. We also got in the co-main event, Calvin Kattar at 23-8. He returns to the cage to take on Youssef Zalala, excuse me for mispronouncing the name, but he's 16-5-1. This to me has potential for fight of the night. These are two action-packed fighters who love to go at it from bell to bell. These guys are going to bring the fire, come forward, and dish out some punishment. So I'm really looking forward to that particular match in itself for this fight night. That's the octagon. Let's put that to the side for now. Let's head into the world of boxing. So Canelo Alvarez pulled the old Uti loop on everybody. Made the announcement that, hey, Canelo versus Jake Paul about to be finalized. We even saw it on ESPN at the bottom checker, like, wait a minute. Canelo Alvarez, who said, unless I get paid $400 million or it'll never happen, is not going to take on Jake Paul, who, when he first started, he had the clipboard, had 10 names on there. 10 was Canelo Alvarez. So Jake spoke it into existence. Whole world is going, wait, what's going on? Are you serious? The clown show, the circus? Are we really doing this? No. Man, you were right. We're not doing this. We're not doing this whatsoever. Use that as a negotiation tactic. Now, Canelo Alvarez signing overseas in Saudi Arabia with the promotion that's being built up there. He's now on a 4-fight contract. So he's going to fight in May, Cinco de Mayo, against William Skull, 23-0. IBF or WBF world super middleweight champion. So that'll be a good test for him. September in Las Vegas, the plan is to take on Terrence Bud Crawford. Yes, please, baby Jesus, give us that matchup right there. And then obviously he'll fight again in Riyadh season next year. His 4th opponent will remain. Next year, it could be a rematch against Demetrius Bivol, who beat him at light heavyweight. Maybe we finally get to see him and David Martinez go at it. We'll see. But it'd be interesting to see how Canelo navigated all this and say, no, brother. No. I got you guys. Whoops. He did a Kansas City shuffle. Look at the left hand. Right hand's doing all the trick. So shout out to Canelo for getting his bills up on that one. You also are going to be seeing some interesting matchups. We're going to talk about it more next week, but we got Bivol stepping back into the ring. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a stacked card. There's Shakur Stevenson on the card as well. Let me pull it up real quick in here. Let me pull it up real quick in my notes, but it is going to be a tremendous matchup. Again, we're going to dive more into it next week, but boxing, people like to say boxing is dead or it doesn't. No, boxing is very much alive and well. It's just so many freaking fighters in a division, so many champions and whatnot. And that's the problem, I think, when you hear Dana White talk about boxing. He says, oh, the UFC doesn't need to add more divisions because then it'll be watered down like boxing. No. Boxing does it right with all the divisions, but they have like 10 champions in every single one. What are we doing here? If the UFC added more divisions, 165, move 170 to 175, 195, you only got the one champion. More divisions, fighters can move around a little bit more. We can get more super fights. And then fighters who are shrinking themselves to get to one weight class or trying to overbloat themselves to get to another one. Now there's a nice even middle part. And then you figure from 125 to 195, it's 10-pound increments as opposed to 15, 20-pound increments. That is a lot to ask fighters to move up or move down in. So we'll see how that particularly works out. Wrapping up this show really quick, I got to jump into the world of professional wrestling real quick. We had the Royal Rumble go down in Indianapolis. 30-man enter. 29 must go over the top rope. Both feet hit the ground for you to be eliminated. Only one man could be left standing. And who was it? Uso! Yeet, Jey Uso, the main event. Jey Uso, tag team specialist. Oh, he's only gonna be a tag team guy. The right hand man of the Tribal Chiefs, Roman Reigns, broke out on his own. He's got everybody around the world. Yeet, yeet, yeet. Wins the Royal Rumble, and now will be main eventing for the second time in his career, WrestleMania. He just announced on Monday Night Raw he's going to challenge his arch nemesis, Punta the Ring General, for the World Championship. He is 0-3 against Gunther so far. Challenge him for the IC title, challenge him for the World title. Can he, fourth time's a charm? We shall see. But Jey Uso right now, hotter than anybody in the world of professional wrestling. Shout out to the Uso for getting out there and stamping his ticket to WrestleMania. Big match, big event. Oh man, it's so awesome to see. He comes out in just every arena that they go to, even the stadiums, everyone, even the announcers are getting on the tables, doing the wave. It is fantastic. And in the world of pro wrestling, I know, but in the world of pro wrestling, it is very rare to have a wrestler capture an audience state to state, coast to coast, globally, when their music hits, everybody goes crazy. Everybody knows who's coming out, and you get into it. Stone Cold was like that. John Cena was like that. The Rock was like that. Undertaker, you get what I'm saying here? Jey Uso, still young in his single run, but he right now is the hottest thing going. He gets a chance to now finish his story, wink, wink, a la Cody Rhodes, at WrestleMania on the biggest stage right here in Las Vegas. We got Elimination Chamber going up next month. The winner of that will be challenging Cody Rhodes for the championship. There's some pretty good names in there. John Cena, which is going to be difficult because when it's his time to go in, are we going to be able to see him? CM Punk, Drew McIntyre. It's going to be some interesting names popping up there on how that particularly goes. But WrestleMania, Las Vegas, it's going to be phenomenal. It's going to be a lot of fun. We are going to get some pretty big matchups here. We already got Charlotte Flair. She won the Women's Royal Rumble in her return. She's going to be returning, going out there. What was unfortunate, when they were in Cleveland, the Monday Night Raw after the Royal Rumble, she tried coming out and telling the fans, hey, I almost had a career-ending injury last time you guys saw me, and now I'm coming back with a fresh mindset. But they were in Cleveland. They were booing her the entire time. Now, some of that, like Kofi Kingston said in a tweet, some of that is when you're Cleveland. You guys are just horrible. That's why The Miz left. That's why Jim Brown left. That's why LeBron left. That's why Myles Garrett wants to leave. It's Cleveland. What do you do? Hell, even the owner of the Indians in Major League wanted to move the team out of there down to Miami. Everybody just want to go ahead and get out of Cleveland. But then it's also the fans saying, while we know Charlotte Flair is one of the best, the daughter of the legendary Ric Flair, woo! You are kind of pushing her to beat her dad's record awfully quick. And we're looking at that as like, okay, we get it. But with all these other females who have been here this time and she was out with injury, working their way up, why don't we get one of them to get a chance? It's the nature of the business. We'll see how things play out. Charlotte, regardless of how things work out for her at WrestleMania this year, challenging for the title, is already one of, if not the best female superstar wrestler we've seen in the ring. She just continues to add to that legacy and improve her resume that much more going forward. But it is going to be phenomenal, a lot of fun, a lot of things going on in the octagon, in the boxing ring, and in the square circle. It is a lot of fun, and you could tune in every week to the main event right here on Franchise Sports Media and listen to me, your boy, Kalani Lua, break it down for you, recap it for you, and get you ready and tell you what you missed going forward. So be sure to go to franchisesportsmedia.com, main event every week. Till next time, Fight fans, talk to you later. Peace. Yeet!